Hey guys, welcome back to BA Adventures.
Hi.
So today we are going over our top 10 tips and tricks for
Epcot
at Walt Disney World Resort. So,
come with us.
So I wanted to interrupt and let you guys know that today's video is brought to you by Hoka shoes. We are affiliated with them and we absolutely love these shoes. These are our theme park shoes. They are great for walking, running, or anything. They are great on our feet and they even make recovery shoes for you to use. So, we highly recommend these shoes. These are mine. These are the Rincon 3s. Ashley wears the Bondi 8s and she absolutely loves them. I plan on getting another pair very, very soon. But these are the Rincon 3s. I chose red because it is my favorite color. So anyway, use the link in the description box below to get your pair today. It really helps us out, bring you quality videos that you guys like to watch. All right, back to the video.
So, we will be talking about our tips on Epcot because Epcot is a massive park. We want you to maximize your time and have a great time while you're there.
Absolutely. So we will go about talking about which ones to rope drop. Even depending on which resort you stay at will depend on which ride to rope drop as well. So that being said, come along with us as we discuss this. So tip number 1 is going to be
so if you are going there, you need a virtual queue for Guardians of the Galaxy. Cosmic Rewind.
1000%.
One of the best rides at the Walt Disney World Resort right now.
Now, if you're unfamiliar with virtual queues, they are something that you can get into that will let you come back and get in line when your time is called. So you need the app for that. You cannot go stand in a standby line or walk up to it and get in line that way. They will turn you away.
We saw multiple people being turned away.
Unfortunately. So they're missing out on probably, like this ride jumped into my top 5 fast. I mean, halfway through the ride, this is amazing. So.
Disney puts you into the ride. They're wonderful at that lately with most of their new rides. So definitely don't miss out on it. So when you're booking the virtual queue, you need to be paying attention to the time. When 7 a.m. hits, that's when you're starting to punch and get in it. So
Actually, 2 minutes before you're starting to press. So 6:58 a.m. Start pressing that refresh button so that you got a chance to book a virtual queue, or you are going to have to purchase an individual lightning lane for that.
Also at 1 p.m. you have a second shot around. We never had to do the 1 p.m. because we never failed. You pay attention to that time. You get on there, make sure your party's all good to go on that before you start booking that or trying to book that. And pay attention to the time. Smartwatches are fantastic because guess what?
Tick, tick, tick,
they
tick,
show
tick,
the
tick,
seconds. And that's when you can start really paying attention. I was counting down seconds. It was like 58, 59.
Go.
And everybody in our party, there was 3 of us. We're all hitting on that button to get in, make sure we got it, okay? So the best time to get that is to do it in the morning so you don't have to wait in line in the afternoon. We made that mistake for Tron, so I'm sure it's the same thing.
Only one time for Tron.
Yeah. So I'm sure it's going to be the same thing for Guardians. You want that morning one because it's less people to wait in line. So.
Yeah, definitely. So that is the number 1 thing I would say to try and get to do at Epcot because literally probably the best ride in that park.
Yeah.
So.
Leading with that, lightning lanes. If you have Genie Plus.
Is this tip number 2?
Yes.
Okay, so tip number 2.
Tip number 2 is going to lead from the virtual queue to lightning lanes. If you do Genie Plus, because we did, I don't like waiting in lines. I like to maximize my time at Disney World because I have FOMO, very, very bad FOMO. So we did lightning lanes with Genie Plus. My lightning lanes that I booked in the very beginning of the day was going to be Test Track. I booked Test Track for sure early in the morning, or I did Soaring.
Soarin'.
Yeah, Soarin'. And so those are the rides that we value the most there for not rope dropping, and we want to maximize that time. Like I said, those are big rides.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. So, I really enjoyed the lightning lane stuff because you were able to jump right through on Test Track.
We'd have to wait an hour in line.
Now, I think they did have, like, single rider line for Test Track again, which was kind of nice to see. So if you're a solo person going to Disney, you may not need virtual queue. Oh, well, you'll need virtual queue if you're a solo person.
Oh, yeah,
but you may not need Lightning Lane, is what I'm saying. You may not even need Genie Plus.
Yeah.
As a solo rider. For some things, there may be other things where they don't have a single rider line for, but that might be something to look into.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so tip number 3.
We're going to talk about your resort if you're staying on property, which I think you should. But anyways, that's a little bonus tip. When you're staying on property...
I liked this.
Yeah. When you're staying on property, we stayed at Pop Century. It is a value resort, but it has a Skyliner. And that helps you with Epcot because you're not riding a bus to Epcot. Nope. You're getting in a different area on the Skyliner.
Yeah, they're letting you in right next to the French Pavilion.
Which leads into more of the tip number 3. If you're staying at a Skyliner resort, which you should rope drop Ratatouille faux show.
Yep.
Go 100%. To Ratatouille.
Ratatouille.
Yes. And rope drop it. So you don't have to buy that Lightning Lane. You're going to walk on the ride, basically.
Yeah. So right there, they gave you the option to rope drop something else.
Like the UK Pavilion. You're going to go into that area.
Yeah. Or you go across the bridge to the French Pavilion and go ride Ratatouille, which is what we did. We hit up Ratatouille. Both days, yeah. And that is a fun ride.
So neat, immersive.
When I first heard that it was coming out and it was a trackless ride, I was like, oh yay, another trackless ride.
It's another Mickey Mouse and
Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. But it made you feel like you were one of the rats or mice with Remy. Yeah. So that was a ton of fun. As soon as you get off of Ratatouille, head straight to Norway and get on that Frozen boat ride.
Yes. Anyways, so definitely go to Frozen. We did not walk onto Frozen, I will say. However, we waited like 30 minutes. That's practically...
At max.
That's practically a walk-on for Frozen.
That 30 minutes is probably more like 15 because it did not feel no 30-minute long wait.
And you don't have
to book
Remy's,
that one. And it was all in the morning. No. You don't have to. You wouldn't have to book that one for Lightning Lane. Now, I will say, is it worth riding it once per visit to Epcot? Yes.
Oh yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
So we spent 2 days at Epcot. We rode it one day, and the only reason we rode it, well, number one is we wanted to. I'm not a huge Frozen fan.
Yeah,
for obvious reasons.
To be a Frozen fan, that would be for sure.
But riding it was a ton of fun. So when we went back the second day, I was like, hey, I want to ride that again. I will have fun riding that again if we can go.
We did a fast pass for it that day. We didn't go from Ratatouille to Frozen again. I
think we went straight to Soarin'.
The second day, we did some other little things. Watched some of the movies in the countries. Yeah. So we actually got a fast pass on that, or Lightning Lane. I like to say fast pass because I'm old school. But anyways, yes.
Moving on to...
Number 4 is if you're staying at those Disney resorts, one thing you're going to want to remember to do is to book your reservations for dinner or lunch there. Or even breakfast. And really, one place that we did do a sit-down dinner, actually lunch, I'm sorry, was Space 220. Oh, yeah. Space 220, you're paying for that experience, to tell you the truth. The food is good, but the experience makes it where it is, I think.
So, with Space 220, you are literally getting into an elevator that takes you 200 miles up into orbit.
Yeah.
Okay. Not literally. You feel the elevator moving, but you have screens below you, above you, and I think you maybe have one on the side. Or is it just above and below? Okay. So just above and below where you can see yourself heading to the space station and leaving Epcot. which
you see like Florida, you see like it's
yeah.
very
I mean,
cool.
you're up basically in orbit,
Mm-hmm.
which is cool. And then when you walk into this massive room, kind of like a half circle room with windows out the side, screens. That has planet Earth, all one big giant screen sort of deal. It has planet Earth, you'll see a spaceship, you'll see some astronauts. So that whole experience was great. The food, it was kind of like, I hate that I'm going to say this, but I was expecting it to be more like...
Space themed.
Space themed.
Yeah.
Like my tuna tartare, when it came out, it looked very futuristic, like we were going to eat this in space. When my steak and fries came out, it was literally steak and fries.
And also, space does not have steak sauce.
They do not have steak sauce, so if you are a person that eats steak sauce with your steaks, like us...
No, was it needed? No.
Not necessarily.
But I ran out of butter.
We just like the taste of it.
Yeah. And like I ran out of... So they put butter on top of it with like herbs like infused into the butter. It was fantastic. Don't get me wrong. I really didn't need the steak sauce, but my butter kind of ran out on some parts of it. And I was just like, hey, can I get some A1? No.
Now, the quality of food was great. The food was good. We're not knocking that. We were just kind of expecting... something different.
Yeah.
So there is that. But
It
now
didn't
that we
meet
know
the
what it is.
expectation, I would say.
Well, it did taste wise.
Yes.
Taste wise and everything.
Theming wise.
It was definitely above par for any theme park we've ever been to, which was expected. However, was it space themed? No. So don't go in thinking it's going to be a space themed sort of deal. So.
And so, I mean, would you do it again?
I don't think so.
I would want to explore into the countries a little bit more next time. I kind of definitely want to try Italy, Germany. There's
Japan. I really want to get into Japan a little bit more because I know they've got some good sushi in there. Yeah. So, anyway, so we are on to tip number 5.
Get that photo with Walt at the Dreamer statue. Him sitting there looking out to Epcot.
Sitting like this. Is
so incredible to me. It's a special moment. It opened on Walt's birthday. We went 2 days after Walt's birthday and we had to stand in line. It was kind of the popular
thing. It's like a 5-minute wait though
for
that. I bet you on Walt's birthday it was like
way longer. But yeah, get that photo. If you're a Disney fan and you know the background of Walt Disney, certainly get it. It's such a cool moment.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I really like that. And that whole area, even at night, is worth it because they have like the ground lights up and there'll be a little light show that occurs on Spaceship Earth. The ball that's in the middle of Epcot.
The iconic ball.
The iconic golf ball. I guess that's what you would want to... I mean, technically that's what you would call it. It looks like a golf ball. So... there's a light show that goes along with those down below, and there's even another building that's being built currently that I think is going to have that because they have very similar lights down below along that walkway that don't light up yet. So.
Yeah. So number 6 is going to be stay for the fireworks show at the end of the night. So we actually got to see 2 different shows. They did retire Harmonious, and then we also saw Illuminous. And both were great for us. We'd never experienced either. I have never experienced an Epcot show, period, there for fireworks. So I thought it was great to be able to watch, listen to the music and everything. Bonus tip of that, we stood near Japan, and I thought that was a cool spot to stand. Yeah,
standing near Japan is a great spot if you are staying at a Skyliner resort.
For sure, because you're closer towards getting out of there.
If you are staying at a resort that requires a bus, you need to stand near the Italy area, somewhere along that fence line. There is a section over there by Italy that is unfortunately reserved for VIPs.
We learned that.
We learned that the hard way while sitting in the rain. which was unfortunate. Well, it wasn't that bad of rain. I mean, it went away pretty quickly, and then
we just wasted time sitting there, and then to be told later on, like, hey, you gotta go.
Yeah, which kind of stunk, but hey, it is what it is, and that's part of it. But if you are expecting, I don't want to deter you away from going and seeing these shows because they are great. But if you are expecting them to be as good as the Castle Show or Fantasmic at Hollywood Studios, it's not that. Okay? Just saying that it is not the
high bar of those
not,
shows,
yeah.
or not, it's not going to meet your bar.
It's not. If you're expecting that kind of like, wow, it may not hit that for you. Because it did not hit that for me.
But I certainly think it was worth watching. I enjoyed watching it. We got the two different shows when we went that time period, so it was I thought it was neat to be able to see it, since coming from a non Epcot show watcher.
I like Luminous better than Harmonious. So
agreed. Number 7 is don't skip out on Crush's Turtle Talk. It is such a cute show, especially as adults going. We didn't have any children with us. Which I thought, well, that's going to be kind of cheesy for us adults to go in. No, we liked it a lot. Actually, our friend Megan, she asked a question to Crush.
Yeah.
So they kind of involve the adults too, which is very cool.
Yeah. So, and like he gets involved too. Like he'll bring out like a foam finger and he'll say, "Hey, what's this used for?" He's like, "Oh,
what is
use
this
it for
item?"
This? Like, yeah, I'm one or something, you know. So, so that was really neat, and how you could talk, and like clearly there's somebody that knows what's going on with that whole setup, and Crush is just awesome to talk to.
Yeah, so much fun.
Unless like somebody in your party doesn't want you to ask certain questions, and then it just becomes unfun. Just kidding. So.
Make sure your questions are appropriate.
Oh yeah, yeah. Don't ask an inappropriate question. However, my question was not going to be inappropriate. I just wanted to know information.
Okay, so tip number 8, leading into it. If you are staying at a Skyliner resort, and you see that huge line at the end of the night.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, man, I have messed up. I shouldn't stayed for that fireworks show. I should have went ahead and skipped it and got in line for the Skyliner. Don't deter because of that. Stay for the fireworks show. Do what you want to do. Jump on that last ride if you want to at the end of the night, because when you go and see that Skyliner line, it moves faster than you think. Those Skyliners are moving.
Yes.
Incredibly fast.
They are constantly moving unless they are trying to get somebody who is handicapped on or something along those lines, somebody that's in a scooter or a wheelchair. They have a separate spot for them, and they have to slow everything down. The track has to change. That thing has to go on while it gets replaced by another, and then we're back to the races again. It's moving and moving and moving and moving. Like, was it the first night or the second night where we were backed up almost to the boardwalk?
The second one. We were not almost to the boardwalk, but we could see it.
Yeah.
So that was
we could see like where the boardwalk, where the Disney boardwalk people walk in to get to Epcot.
Yeah, I was a little scared when I saw that.
So we saw that and we went, oh my, this might be a little bit of a wait. 30 minutes.
Yep.
If that.
Another thing.
Well, actually, it was 30 to 40 minutes, I would say, for that one. And like the first night, we were like right there as soon as you walk out, and she started to freak out too. And that one was like 20 to 15 minutes.
It was a lot shorter.
Oh, a lot shorter. It didn't take long. So
another thing that they do is don't expect to not ride with other people at the end of the night. In the morning, you usually get on by yourself. At night, you're getting on with other parties. That also helps speed that process up. Yeah. So just be cautious of that if that's something that you're not into.
So they will run double lines to get on, and they'll ask you how many's in your party, and you hold. So usually we were 2. Megan would go back early because Megan came with us. She was going back early to the resort. Not a big deal. So we were always 2. So they were like, you in this car, and then they would ask like the next line, how many? And they would maybe say 3 or 4. Those people would probably come on with us, because you can get 10 people in those Skyliner things. Did they put 10
Sitting
people
down.
at a time? Sitting down.
Mm-hmm.
Did they put 10 people in there? No, not at a time.
I would not feel comfortable with 10, I'm not going to lie.
No,
but...
not especially when it stops you in the middle of Hourglass Lake and you're sitting there waiting and not moving.
Yeah.
That gets a little intense to an extent, but not too bad.
But you're sitting there talking with other people. You're trying not to, and no one's trying to pay attention to the fact that we're like stalled out at that point. But we were never concerned, never worried.
We were never completely stopped. It feels like it because you're moving so slow.
Yeah.
But you were never completely stopped. And like, as you're coming off and down the hill into the terminal, it looks like you're about to smash into the next one. You're not. But my advice is, if somebody's never ridden them or doesn't know any information about them, don't tell them. It'll be hilarious. And then like start faking like, oh my god!
So tip number 9. Epcot is known for the World Showcase. You're going to other countries and you're traveling there. Okay, so my tip is try all those different foods. I was a connoisseur of snacking when I was there. I wanted to try different foods.
She did want to try everything. Yes.
Brady had to be like, calm down. We're about to eat Space 220, or we're about to have like an actual meal. You need to calm down.
Yes.
So I did enjoy eating quite a bit of food.
I'm going to interject something into here. When you are doing this, please research what you are going to get.
Yeah.
So we went in. She was FOMO was starting to hit her. And she wanted food bad. She wanted to try something. She just had to try something.
I think I was hangry at the time too.
She wasn't hangry at the time. She had just eaten something. One of our snacks that we take with us. And she was like, I just want to try something. I have to have some Disney food. I have to have some Disney food. Okay, there's a booth right here. So we go over, and she goes, look, shrimp cocktail. Let's get some shrimp cocktail. Shrimp cocktail. And I went, okay. It was $15. I went, all right. My thought process is we're probably going to get, shrimp about this big and probably get 6 of them. We got shrimp probably about that big.
It was the biggest shrimp I've ever seen.
It is the biggest, yes.
I will say that.
But we only got 3 of them.
Now, hold on a second. It was not bad.
It wasn't bad.
It was very good to me.
It was very good.
I enjoyed it.
I'm not upset by that. But what I am saying was that's not something to pay $15 for. It was probably way cheaper.
Yes.
Probably $10. Okay? I would say it would have been about should have been about $10. And I'm sitting here going, holy crap. So we slowed her down a little bit. But yeah, I do suggest going and trying things from around the world. You can clearly snack there. We did have one pavilion that was that didn't quite hit the mark with us, and that was the Chinese pavilion.
Yeah, we
anytime
misses
we try
hard.
something Chinese at any theme park, it just never hits for us. It never hit at Busch Gardens. It never hits at Silver Dollar City. We didn't try anything at Dollywood, I don't think.
Well, probably, yeah.
I mean, if you want to count the cheeseburger egg rolls, but that's not really Chinese. But anytime, and it just never hits for us, unfortunately. I mean, we even tried one of the meals from the Chinese restaurant just because we were like, it's got to be. And it
smelled good. That was my problem.
It did smell good.
It smelled so
good. It smelled
good.
very good, and it just did not hit the mark. Like,
oh, it felt like I was eating.
Oh, I cannot believe I'm about to say this, but I would have much rather gotten to the food court at the mall.
I would rather went to Panda Express.
Oh wow, that's saying something for her to go there.
Yeah.
She's not a huge fan of Panda.
But anyways, yeah, just try all the different foods. It's really fun. Do your research like he said. Have a plan of what you actually really want to try.
I will say that if you guys have some sort of insight on Chinese food or Chinese or Oriental type, Asian type food at a theme park, hit the comments below and we will try that.
Tell us where the park is.
Yeah, where to go.
What to get.
Because please. We are not going to go to
the UK.
Disney.
The UK.
The 2 parks in China.
Yeah.
Not anytime soon, anyway.
But if it's an American-based
I mean, unless we're invited. But, yeah, an American-based park that's got some sort of Chinese food, let us know. We will hit it up. Or maybe we just hit Disney at the wrong time because the chicken skewer was not that great. Very dry, kind of bland. And then the orange... Do we both have orange chicken?
We both had orange chicken.
We both had orange chicken at the Chinese...
How do you mess up orange chicken?
It was just very bland as well. Like... I mean, you can mess it up. Trust me.
I feel like you shouldn't, though.
So... But anyway, that was tip 9.
Tip number 10.
Oh my gosh, we're already at 10.
So, tip number 10 is going to be, keep in mind that Epcot is a major, big park. I feel like
it's a big circle too.
It is. And I feel like Epcot is kind of 2 parks in one, in my opinion. You have the space section. You have the World Showcase. And so that's like 2 parks, in my opinion, small parks combined into one. Yeah. And so if you are planning your trip, try and keep in mind locations. So if you can try and lower your walking distance, that will be key for you. A lot of times, yes, we couldn't do it. We were going back and forth from World Showcase all the way to Soarin'. You know what I mean? And that's quite a distance, depending on where you're located. If you're in Norway, all the way to Soarin', that's halfway across the park. So keep that kind of thing in mind.
We are not the people that, like, when we map something out, we will map out rope drop and then right after that. And that's it. After that, we go here, 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 here.
It's utter chaos.
It does. It turns into chaos. We're like a malfunctioning GPS.
We really are. But that's how they work theme parks, though.
And that's fine. But there are some people out there, and maybe we need to try this with, Silver Dollar City sometime. But there are people out there that will walk in and they will hit this spot and then 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 this spot. And they'll just make their circle.
I just need to know what your secrets are and how you do that, because I try and hit up the big things that we want to get done. And that's why we bounce around a lot.
Well, I think that if you're going to do that, you're going to run into a time where you are at a standstill waiting in line.
Yeah.
If you're going to follow a circle on the map and a route. If you bounce around like we did, we were able to maximize what we wanted to get done, where we wanted to get it done, and what we want. Well, and when we wanted to get it done.
Yeah.
And then we had time after that of just, hey, let's go look in this shop. Hey, let's go eat this. Hey, let's go drink that.
Little movie.
Yes.
Especially in Epcot, yeah.
Yeah, especially in Epcot. Go watch those movies if you, let's take that back. If you are looking for a place to sit down.
You need to go to France.
You need to go to France or the American Pavilion and watch their shows. Yep. Those you can sit down in. The Chinese one.
I started laughing on this one.
She wanted to sit down so bad.
I was so excited!
And we were sitting and waiting, and we walked in, and it was a 360-degree screen.
And I was like,
they don't have chairs in a 360-degree theater.
Are you kidding me? So I just sat down on the ground.
Sat on the ground.
Who knows how dirty that carpet is? I sat my rear on that ground, and there wasn't a bad spot to sit down on. I'm not going to lie. It was 360. So I just sat there against a pole and watched it.
Yeah. So
it is what it is at that point.
It is. So that was tip number 10.
Yeah, we're done.
That finishes it off. Wow. So those are our top 10 tips and tricks for Epcot. We do have more, so feel free to talk with us through our social media outlets. That is perfectly all right. We will feel free to answer if you have any questions as well. We can help out. Same with all of our others. If you haven't checked out our Magic Kingdom top 10 tips and tricks, it is right here. We will also be having an Animal Kingdom and
Hollywood Studios. I cannot believe you paused on that.
I can't either. Like, for some reason, I have been reading on Facebook groups MGM Studios, and I almost said MGM Studios, and I'm like, it's not MGM Studios. What am I doing? And I also almost blurted out Galaxy's Edge because that is inside Hollywood Studios, and that might as well just be the park anyway. Just kidding.
Oh, no.
Just kidding. But anyway, yeah. So if you want to stay tuned for those. Follow along for those. Hit that like button, that subscribe button, and that
bell notification button,
so that you guys don't miss out on those top 10 tips or any other top 10 tips from other theme parks or news or anything like that that we visit, because we frequent theme parks, because 2024 is going to be huge for us. So yes, it is 2024 when we were giving these top 10 tips and tricks. They hopefully still apply mostly today. That Genie Plus is always changing, so it may not apply to this video, but
and
that
Disney
is
World is always changing too.
That is also true. So we will try and keep you guys up to date as much as possible with that as well. So anyway, with that,
bring on the next adventure.
bye guys.